What's going on, everybody? I am Zaki with World Class, and this is the World Class Way podcast, and I'm here back again with Julius of World Class, CEO and Master Trainer. How you doing today, Ju?
I am doing really, really good, man. Thanks for having me, and I'm looking forward to. We're going to discuss some Dogo Argentino today, right?
Absolutely, we're going to discuss the Dogo. And for the family, if you have had the opportunity to go to our website at worldclassk9.com or even at worldclassdogoargentino.com, you're able to see some of the Dogo Argentinos that we've trained in the past, bred in the past, and things of that nature. But just really being the forerunners here in the United States when it comes to the Dogo Argentino breed. So today, man, we really want to discuss what got you into the Dogo.
Man, the Dogo is an outstanding breed. I knew about the Dogo back in the past. I've been training since 1994, so of course I ran across the Dogo breed and wasn't too fond of them because of the type that I was dealing with. And they were more of the AKC, dogs, American bred, I should say, American bred Dogos. And so then, so later on in the years, I ran across, William. He called me, and he knew kind of, my program, and he liked my program and everything. Okay. And he'd seen me do training with different breeds, a variety of different breeds. So he got into the Dogos himself. He went over to Argentina, a guy named William Marshall. And then William came to me and said, "Hey, Julius, man, I want you to, because in America, they're going to be used for protection." So he wanted to see what I could do with them as far as protection. Okay. And so he gave me a couple dogs and said, "Hey, man, try this one." Then he would say, "All right, try this one, and just tell me what you think." And so I started working with them, and then I liked them. Yeah, I liked them a whole lot. They really, really surprised me. The temperament, I love the temperament of the Dogo because it was easy. With a lot of certain, different breeds, you may have dominance, you may have handler aggression, you may have, dogs that you have to work with to overcome certain things a lot more than others. And I didn't see that with the Dogo. So once they understood what I wanted them to do, it was a straight line, beeline to the target. Didn't care what was in front of them. First time ever being in front of certain distractions, they would blast through it like it was not even there. Wow. And then not only that, they were easy to control also. So I just really was, surprised at what I saw, and I just grew an affection for them, and I got into them all the way.
Yeah, so let's talk about that control, because for a dog to be so strong, so powerful, so intense when it comes to protection. If you haven't had an opportunity to go to our YouTube channel, make sure you go to World Class K9 on YouTube, and you can see some of the phenomenal videos there. But for a dog to be so powerful, how are they so easy to control?
You have to get the right Dogo. Because I learned the hard way. So there were Dogos that, when I got into it, my thought process was, okay, get a little bit of Russian bloodlines, Poland bloodlines, Italian bloodlines, and bloodlines from all over the world. And that was my initial thought as far as my program, because I liked what I saw in these different countries. Right. That was the wrong way of doing things. For instance, Poland, I would never buy dogs from Poland again. You have to have the true authentic Dogo, meaning they have to be hunters, because that's the only way to test the submission. Okay. I like that. So that's extremely important. So you have to have a submissive Dogo. Dogos are very, very powerful, strong, one of the strongest breeds I ever dealt with, and my decoys tell me that as well, as far as the strength, the bite, all that kind of stuff.
I've been one of those decoys.
You've been one of those decoys. Yes. So so it has to be the right Dogo, and that's my point. And so I had to learn the hard way. I had some issues with some Dogos, and like I said, especially in Poland, and that's why I said I would never. I like the looks. Yeah. What I was seeing, broad, big, okay, I want that size because Americans like size and things like that. That's not the way. So I had to get rid of everything and start all over.
Wow.
And so, so when, like I said, William, he introduced me to the authentic Dogo from Argentina. And that's what I fell in love with. But then my mind went where it went.
Right.
And so I started trying to do other things, and I shouldn't have. So I should have stayed right there. But I went back there, and that's all I have right now. So that's why that's why they are so easy to control, because they're submissive to men, and you can understand why when you're out hunting with a pack and you got a dominant Dogo. That hunter is in trouble. You know, if they want to claim the hog or whatever the case may be, and challenge the alpha of the pack, which is supposed to be the hunter, and they can't control it, it could be a bad situation for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen videos online, of hunters with their dogs, and you want the dog to submit to the hunter after after they have subdued the hog. Then it's over with. And I've seen hunters ask them, tell the dog, that it's off, or leave it, or whatever the case may be, because it's over with, and things like that. So you definitely want to make sure that the dog is submissive to you. Now, you went to Argentina.
Yes.
You went to Argentina and put your eyes on the foundational blood. You actually went over there and was just immersed yourself in the Dogo culture over there. Talk about that experience and how that helped shape your understanding of the Dogo breed.
Yes, I went over again with William and then Ricky. We had a good time, and we experienced the Dogo. I just had to experience them in their homeland, just because I wanted to get more in depth with knowledge about it. And so I was went to the AMDA 2018 show, and they had that first working event there where they were able to proof the dogs in the pen with the hog, and they had to capture the hog, or at least control the hog within 5 minutes or something like that. I'm not sure about the rules completely, but they had to grab the hog by the ear, control it for a certain amount of time, and then if they made that time, they were champions in the working field. And then what I love about Argentina, and how they in their program, when it comes to show, functionality has to be first. So functionality first, and that's what I've always been about when it comes to the different breeds I've dealt with. But functionality had to be first. Before you can enter into the show ring, you had to be a functional dog. You had to show that you had the heart to do your job. And then from there, they also had to display control when it comes to farm animals. They had to walk past the cows and not attack the cows. So it couldn't have been, it wasn't about any animal and just spray drive towards anything and everything. So that control had to be there. Had to walk past the chickens and things like that without engaging them. And so I really, really love how they champion their dogs out. So here in the United States, it's about, take them in the show ring. They're pretty enough. They got the confirmation. You can be a champion. And that's not a champion to me.
And that right there is not really testing the dog's personality, or, really letting you know what the dog is like. So, when you have them in Argentina and they champion them out there, like you say, you testing the dog's, his ability to submit, his understanding of what it is he's supposed to do. As you mentioned, they bring him through where they're walking past livestock, cows and horses and chickens, and the Dogo not worried about that. No. The Dogo is only concerned about the hog, once they put into that situation. So it helps you to really get an understanding of the temperament, versus in America, they're not really testing that. You're just seeing what dog looks good. Right.
And they're following the instructions of their alpha, their pack leader. So when they're walking through and they say, leave it, whatever, they're able to control the dog, and they submit to them and they listen to them. So very, very intelligent breed, to be so strong. They're easy to control. And then I just kind of took that and put it with my program when it comes to obedience and protection. And that's why it was easy once I was able to find the formula to purchasing the right Dogo, the real Dogo. So if it's not that, then it's just a white dog.
It's a white dog.
It's a white dog. That's
it. A white dog. Wow. So being in the business for 30 years, and really doing a lot of protection training with a lot of the other working breeds. You've worked Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, things like that. What in the Dogo made you change the family protection dog of choice for you from those other working breeds to the Dogo Argentino?
Once again, it's what I've learned when I went to Argentina and what I saw. We were at the working event, and it's different than the shows here. Dogs can be tied to trees. It was just a really country feel on a farm, and dogs tied out here, tied out over there. Children running around. They can run up to the dogs and play with the dogs that don't even know the dogs. And it was that type of atmosphere. I've never seen nothing like it. Here dogs are in crates, and whenever you go to a show, and parents are clutching the hands of their children. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but that's what the true Dogo is, and they're so familiar with that they're very comfortable with it. And so that my niche is family, the family protection.
Family protection.
So once I proved that here with my program, it was a wrap. And a lot of people say you shouldn't own a Dogo or you shouldn't own a particular breed. I don't know why, but it's not about the breed, it's about the dog within that breed. So it's about selection. So you have to know how to select, just like I had to learn how to select the correct Dogo. The Dogo is much more than just a hunting dog, man. They can do anything. I've trained them for service dogs, for stability. People that may have a prosthetic leg or something like that, they need to put that weight on them. They're great out in public. Even my protection dogs now, fearless protection dogs, strong, hard protection dogs when needed. I can take out in public, go out on the belt line, and people can walk up and they love to hug. Dogos love to get up on you and just kind of hug you. And they just hug strangers, So it's about the understanding how to select the right Dogos for my families. And so that's what we do. That's what we specialize in. I'm not a breeder of paperwork, even though my paperwork is beautiful, as far as blood goes. My breeding program is based on temperaments, most importantly. I'm not going to breed a dog that has, traits that I don't like,
right.
Period. They have to have the right personality. They have to have the right temperament. They got to be smart, intelligent, of course, healthy. All those things combined is part of my breeding program, but temperament is first, because my dogs, I want them to be born with that temperament where they're easy to train and handle and things like that. And then we go through the testing process to make sure, okay, you want a dog for what? And then once you give me that information, I take it back, I go through the litter, and I say, hey, this is the perfect puppy that I think for you. So then after that, education doesn't stop.
Right.
I don't like to just give you a puppy and let you figure it out yourself. Then it's, okay, what do I do next? And then we'll put you on a program to success.
So how important is that selection process you just talked about? Whether it's just across the board with all breeds, specifically with working breeds, because that's what we deal with working breeds. But how important is that selection process from a experienced professional trainer when it comes to owning any working breed?
Yeah, so many people just buy puppies just because it's a puppy and it's cute, and pretty much anybody can handle a puppy. They can give it to their child or whatever the case is, and they may like it because of it has a big head, big feet, color, whatever the case is. Yeah. And that's not the reason to buy a puppy if you have a specific need, especially. You have to understand what to look for. For instance, protection. You want a dog with strong nerves. You want a puppy with strong nerves, so you go through the litter and you do certain things to seek out the right one with the strongest nerves, and then after that, you want certain drives as well, so you can build that puppy up to do that particular type of work. So you look for those particular drives in the puppy. But then again, if you give it to the wrong person with the right traits, that wrong person can undo and mess that puppy up still. Do certain things like, the old school way, they'll tap it in the nose with a newspaper or spank the dog, use their hands. Your hands are only supposed to be used for praise. So they'll do certain things that will turn that puppy into being overly submissive.
Right.
And then they'll start, just slowly messing that puppy up. That good, the puppy with the good traits turns into something that you've messed up. So you need instructions from there. And so we do puppy imprinting. We suggest doing the puppy imprinting first. Whenever anyone buys a puppy, even if it's a puppy that they've chose themselves, so we can get as much out of that puppy. And then the main thing is instruct you on what to do next. So this is how you raise it. These are the do's and the don'ts. Because now they can take the do's and continue the training process the right way. So when it does come back to us, we can go to the next step and then still give you more instructions. So that's how the process is supposed to be done. That's what I always suggest, but it's done totally differently.
And that's great information for all of you all who may be interested, who may be looking for a puppy right now, wanting to bring, a dog into your home, especially when we see now with the, with the rise of crime, violent crimes and things like that. So people want to have, things in place to protect their homes. Yeah. So protection dogs are on the rise, but you want to make sure that you get with an experienced trainer who will help you and instruct you and guide you through that process, because that's important. As you mentioned, so many people purchase puppies and then take a perfectly good dog and then they'll mess that dog up, or they'll choose a poor dog and then show up to us and say, I want you to make the dog a protection dog.
And we'll do the best we can, but it's not always guaranteed just because you buy a Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher, or any breed that you're going to get a protection dog out of it.
Right.
And that's why selection is most important. So understand what you're purchasing a puppy for, get with a professional in that field, and then let them help you. That's the most important thing. If you're investing the money in the puppy and you want it for a particular need for your home, whether it's to heighten your security a little bit around the household, get with somebody that really knows protection. And that's another thing, protection, real protection, not sport.
Ooh, yeah, that's another episode for another day, because you have a lot of people who, are doing sport training, sport bite work. That's not real protection work. So it's a lot of nuance in that, that we can get into in another conversation.
Yes.
But when it comes to the Dogo, back to the bringing it back around to the Dogo Argentino breed specifically, working in protection, what are some of the things that you notice in the Dogo Argentino that stood out for you as opposed to working German Shepherds or working Rottweilers or Doberman Pinschers? Or even if you didn't, you can answer the question however you want, if you want to separate the Shepherd breeds, but even if you compared it to even the bully breeds like Cane Corsos and Presa Canarios and things like that, what stood out?
I would have to say they're great for family. They love children. They're submissive to all members of the family, and they love deep, and they have, I think, more focus on family, in their family, their territory. And as far as the actual work, I dogs that I've owned, that I've trained for clients as well, they're just, like I said, straight line. A lot of different breeds will get into something and they'll try to look for a way. They're looking for the shortest way to stop you. Same thing they have to do out in the field with the hogs. They don't want the hog to get away. So when they go in, you see the videos. You see the videos with other dogs kind of nipping at them, bait dogs. I think, yeah. So I'm not a hunter, but bait dogs is kind of just, or bay dogs. Bay dogs. Yeah, there you go, bay dogs. And I just love how when they go in, they know what their job is. Their job is just to kill the hog,
action,
or to catch the hog,
action.
So it's straight action. They go in, they hit hard, and then everybody else kind of follow. They say, okay, Super Daddy here.
Yeah, so
he comes in and he hits females, males, whatever the case may be, and they do their job and to the fullest. And then they're about business. They're just about business. They know what their job is, and they do it well. And you can find a good Rottweiler. Yes, you can find other breeds. It's just with the Dogo Argentino, for me, when you find the right Dogo Argentino, it's the majority. It's a majority. I mean, even in a litter, the majority of them, I think, will hit a hog. Now, that you have some that won't hit a cougar. They say 1 out of 10, pretty much, whatever the case is, may hit a cougar, because that's different.
It's a different level, yes.
That's different. But as far as the game to hunt hogs, and the will and the heart, you know, if you have good bloodlines, hunting bloodlines, you're going to find that the majority of those of the Dogos, or out of that, if they're raised properly, will hit a hog.
So stay right there and about the heart. You know, I know me and you have had conversations about the Dogo Argentino breed and how that is what really separates a white dog from a true Dogo, the heart. Yeah. So can you talk more about just the courage of the Dogo and the heart of a Dogo?
Yeah, so the heart is everything in a Dogo because of what they have to do. They basically, each time, they're pretty much putting their life on the line. Mm-hmm. And to have, I mean, for us, you just think about it. You know, you got some that go in the ring. You got some of us that will be too scared to go in the ring. You know, certain situations, whatever the case is, we may shy away from it. But the heart of a Dogo is, I'm ready. The game is, you know, just like a game, you know, pit bull. You know, he put me in there. I don't care how big he is or whatever. I'm ready to go. That's the Dogo breed. When it comes to the selection of making sure you have the right one, of course, the heart is everything. So if they don't have that, then you have a Dogo that's white. It's about the fearlessness.
That exists in the heart and the mind of the Dogo. You know, as from a puppy and growing up, you know, they just have a certain level of fearlessness about them that is just above and beyond other breeds,
you know? Above and beyond other breeds. It's to me, I always say it's your best defense against any man or beast. Any man or beast, you know, that's your best chance right there, because they have the heart to just say, okay, you're 9 feet tall, but guess what? I'm a Dogo.
Right.
That's it.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
Yeah. And so they ready just for whatever. And I've seen that in protection. So, you know, Achilles. Everybody know about Achilles. Achilles was super smart, super intelligent, but also just ready. You know, he's ready to protect me with his life. You know, every single time, and he knew what that was about. But at the same time, I could take that same dog and say, hey man, can you walk my dog for me real quick, to a total stranger? And he would walk off. When he see me pass that leash, he said, okay, he's good.
Yep.
He'll walk off and you can pet him up and everything, you know, and love on him just like I would. He would bring him back and say, man, I can't believe I just did that. You know, especially after I show him the video. Or something like that. So they're different. They're really, really good and gentle with children. You know, the way they submit, they'll give their belly, you know, they'll kind of give you a paw, whatever the case is. They'll give you some type of submissive gesture, you know, and that's how I identify, okay, that's a Dogo right there. That's one way.
So talk about the Dogo Argentino over here in America, because you already mentioned the fact that you've been to Argentina, right? So you went and got that foundational blood. You was introduced to the culture. You know what a real Dogo is. Now, just talk about the transition. Obviously, you being over here in America and importing that blood over here. You know, how's that transition been to putting those dogs on the yard? And what kind of feedback have you been hearing from, you know, people who have purchased dogs from you?
You know, once you own one, you'll never own another breed.
That's true.
Once you own one, you got to get another one.
That's true.
You know, I mean, it just becomes an addiction, because, you know, you can have them as a pack. You know, you just look at the, you know, different videos on the web. You have people with 8, 10 Dogos in their family. and they all get along, and that's how they should be. But you got to keep that. If you take that away from them, then yes, they can become territorial and things like that and dominant towards. But if you keep them in a pack, like I've had 11 that I've raised as a pack all the way until they was like 10 months old, and they just kind of stayed together, and they were fine because they knew the pack rules and that I was the pack leader.
Right.
Now, if you allow one of them to become the pack leader, then you're going to get some scuffles, and they're going to do just like wolves do, But you have to be the leader of the pack. So I do a lot of pack training from the time, and I try not to separate the litters, so the litters can stay together. They can learn to work together the way I want them to. So that's very important, and that's how they do it over in Argentina as well.
Wow.
They keep them together, and those that are going to go out in the field, and that's very, very important that they stay together and they learn to work together, and get along with other dogs, because there could be 10 of them out there running around or more, hunting hogs.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can agree. I definitely agree with that, because yes, coming into the dog game and business, it was shepherd breed for me, from the beginning. But as Julius just mentioned, it's something different about the Dogo, and then once you own one, then it's like, I want to Dogo or nothing.
And then how easy it is at home. You won't even know you got other dogs that's begging for attention, other breeds that like to beg for attention, that are anxious, that want to go.
Yes.
I dealt with all of them, Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, and German Shepherds, they whine a lot. I mean, it's a lot of different traits that I just don't like about certain breeds. But the Mal, it's the perfect dog for a trainer. If you want to push a dog to do just a whole bunch of different things or whatever, and look sharp as a trainer, the Belgian Malinois. That's why most videos you see is with a Belgian Malinois, and they're doing all kinds of tricks, because they got high ball drive and things like that, high prey drive and toy drive and things like that. Dogos don't care about it, man. I guess you could pull some prey drive and ball toy drive from a Dogo if you put that in front of them at an early age, but they don't really care about all that, and that's a good thing, because children play with
toys and balls and things like that. So at world class K9 and the world class ways, we don't train with toys and balls and things like that for that specific reason.
But nothing against those that do. I'm just saying, for us, they become possessive over those items, and children play with those items, and that's how you get those accidental bites.
Absolutely.
So you got to be careful about that. And so most people that you see train like that, that's their own personal dog.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say, it's nothing. If that's what you do with your own personal dog, like it's a trainer's dog. A trainer's dog is for a trainer, and then obviously a family dog is for family. So you don't want to do the same things that you would do, with a trainer.
We train dogs for other people. That's the difference, I think, with us, is we train dogs. And I'm not saying that others don't, but if they do train that way to pass on to you're passing on a situation that could be bad for that child or whatever, or for even them. Even trainers have been bitten by their own dogs.
That's true.
From doing,
you see that online too.
Yeah, you see that online as well.
People
so by their own
dogs in the crate, can't put their dog in the
crate. Or just playing with them. Accidental bites and things like that, because they have the drive to get it. They building the drive up. That's what they're doing. So it could be a very easy accident of a child reaching for a ball, and the dogs understand who's alpha and who's not. They'll check it. That's part of the pack. But it's a child. So they check the child and say, leave my ball alone. So you got to be real careful about putting those into families. If that's how you train for your own personal dog to make you and your dog look good,
right? That's something different.
Something different. Yeah. But passing those off or selling them to families is dangerous.
Right. So the Dogo Argentino in America. Now I know they have a lot of Dogos in Texas, because there's a lot of hogs in Texas, and usually, and really like in the South, in Alabama, in Georgia, and in Florida, they have a lot of Dogos. How popular are they in Mississippi, in Louisiana? Are they popular out there too?
I'm not sure, but they're gaining popularity now, just because people are experiencing them and talking about them. And like I said, they're very easy. If you want to just relax and chill all day, man, a Dogo will be right there at your feet doing the same thing. If you want to go hiking for days, they'll go hiking for days, and they can handle it. They can handle any type of weather, climate. Right. To me, it's just an all-around breed. They have little health issues. Hearing is one. You have to make sure you do the bear testing and things like that. But they're not known to have a lot of hip dysplasia, and it all depends on how you breed. Don't breed for size. They'll tell you, it'll get out of control if you start breeding for 200-pound dogos. Yeah. You'll have Great Danes. You'll just have a bunch of Great Danes on your yard, and their look even changes. They're more sausage-like.
Remember
you seen
that dog we got from that dog we had, bro? We remember we had that dog. It was a dogo, but that dog was more Great Danish. It
was more Great Danish.
Bull Mastiff than dogo.
Yeah.
It was white though.
Yeah, it was white. It was white, but very. They change their looks if you breed them a particular way. So. You got to know what you're doing. I have people that mentor me in Argentina still. When it comes to that, as far as putting the blood together, what would you do? Is this a good cross? Have you ever seen this cross before, or whatever? And we make sure we keep champions on deck. We make sure we keep what they love over there is what we have over here.
Absolutely.
Is what we have over here, and that's pretty much our program, because they do all the proofing over there. I don't proof in hunting.
Right.
Now hunters have my dogs here, but nobody proofs them like they do.
Right.
In Argentina, I have to give them that respect all day long. That's their breed,
right?
And they know it.
Wow, man, it's just amazing the process, the process that you and the dedication that you put into finding the right dog and really the right breed for families, to be able to make sure that the people that you are delivering dogs to are completely satisfied. And then I just think about the process of the testing and the temperaments and things like that, and then that streamlining over here to the dogs that you have, because I've met the hunters and they are very satisfied with the dogs that they have gotten from us. So it's like, man, it's all streamlined.
Yeah,
it's all streamlined.
Yeah, I want the United States to experience the best when it comes to the breed, to really understand the breed, because that's what's most important. A lot of bad situations have taken places where dogos have attacked certain individuals, and it's because of lack of knowledge. You have to really understand the training side of it as well, and that's what we kind of pride ourselves in. Is we train, we start training puppies. We test our puppies out, and we know the breed inside out when it comes to that. We don't know everything about hunting, like I said, but we deal with people that know everything about hunting. And so once they're here, my program kicks in, and we know that very well. So from there, we know where that particular dog can go and should not go. And so, and we're not going to sell somebody something that they shouldn't have. That's why nothing comes back.
Right.
When we give you something, we want that to be the lifetime. That's the best part of it, is saying, here's your new Dogo Argentino, enjoy it for the rest of, his or her life.
Right.
And that's the rewarding part. That's the part that we look for, and then we keep that communication going, because it's a lifetime relationship with all our clients, because we want to know how we can help you. We don't want to see anybody get hurt, so we care, where, we'll come to you, we'll pull up on you, and say, okay, what's the problem? What are you seeing? And let us help you fix it, because we're trainers, and that's our field, is helping people with their dog. Period.
Absolutely. And I think that's extremely valuable. I think that's extremely valuable when you can provide the value that's being provided through the world-class way of dog training with world-class canine. I think a lot of people are a lot more satisfied and having the results. But as you mentioned, education is important.
Yes.
That's the key. No matter what breed you have, specifically we're talking about the Dogo Argentino. That education from a person who has experience who has been tried and tested is extremely valuable because it'll help you avoid a lot of mistakes that people make. So do you? So what plans do you see moving forward with the Dogo Argentino? In America with your program.
Out of all the breeds that I've dealt with, I don't feel the need to deal with another breed. I think this is a complete breed. Like I said, your best defense against any man and beast. So if you like the outdoors and you want to go hiking, there are wild animals out here that can harm you. The Dogo was your best bet to have, to protect you and your family against that. And when it comes to protection, like I said, fearless. If you got the right Dogo with the heart condition that it's supposed to have, then it's nothing that Dogo won't do, and it can handle pain, high pain tolerance. Just why? Because they get ripped open in Argentina, and they don't even realize it until after it's all over and done with. They're gonna fight all the way until that hog is dead,
right?
And then they realize, at that particular time they're gonna go deal with themselves. And the hunters are there to take care of them. And so it's a unique breed, and like I said, I love everything about it when it comes to what I do, and that's family. But I would never just give a Dogo to someone without knowing that Dogo and knowing the temperament, the training part of it. It has to be there, just so I can know how to educate that individual on that particular dog so they can have great success with it, with their family.
Absolutely. Well, man, I think that's a good way to, put a pin in this conversation when it comes to the Dogo Argentino breed. I think we learned a lot. Obviously me and you have had these conversations before, but at the same time, it is, really inspiring, and you learn something new every time you hear about it, about that process in Argentina, about, the World Class Way program, and, why it's so effective with, the clients and, people who have purchased the dog. So I learn something new every time, and I hope you all who are watching this, you learn something new. You have been more educated about the Dogo Argentino today than before you actually watched this episode. So we certainly appreciate everybody for tuning in. And if you would like to learn more about the World Class Way of Dogo Argentino or dog training, specifically with the Dogo Argentino, then you can come to our website, www.worldclasscanine.com.